So there I was, sucking on a punker's neck, when all of a sudden comes a man sheathed in garlic, sporting a silver cross. I had ducked into this club with the rest of the throngs. The building was jet black except with some graffiti jags of luminescent yellow and orange paint giving away the location and the name. It was a young crowd, all circling 20 years old, except for me. I'm a few 100 years old. You know the look. Pale skin, red eyes, slick black hair, gaunt frame, body-length black trench coat, glittering fangs.
Slim Hemlock, the Rolling Store man, had seen many unique things in his travels. He spent many a night sitting around campfires with gypsies in their wild song, slept in abandoned farmhouses where, at noon and night, fierce Indian battles could still be heard raging through the dark, and even scooted through ghostly battlefields on his way home after a good week's work. Sure he was seeing soldiers resting in their camp, and sure he'd be reckoned as the enemy. Now, if you don't know what a rolling store is a horse and wagon that goes around selling merchandise to them who can't get into town anytime soon. The rolling store man will sometimes take an item or two in trade, but only if it's in real good shape. You always know when the rolling store man's coming because you can hear the wagon for miles around, sounding like tink, tinkle tink, tink tink.
We kiss, juices mingling, his skin hot against mine. I kiss his cheek, then move down to a warm neck. Lips brush velvet skin, tongue tracing a moist line along the pulsing heaven of an artery buried beneath. A hoarse whisper escapes his throat, begging for more. Does he know what he asks? I think not. But who would want to disappoint such a needy, yearning being? Not I.
In the hour before morning, the mist hangs thick over the cairn. This is where the people live in strong little houses, hewn from rain-lashed granite. The mist retreats as the sun rises, chased down the steep incline and across the flats where, at the edge of the swamp, it promises to remain until after dark. It is the world acting in accordance with the base laws. So the alchemist says. The mist, water on the air, is displaced by the fire from the sun. He is a very wise man, they all agree. They leave him amongst his books and his quills to ponder why the world turns as it does, and set out after the mist each morning.
Her partner was no great shakes. He was a friend of a friend that she'd just met, but he would do. He was a warmish body, at least. They took their places on the dance floor at the appointed time. Segura watched her partner wipe his hands on his pants. Nervous? She asked. Lindo took out a handkerchief and wiped his pale forehead with it. No, why? Do I look it? Segura laughed, revealing her pointed teeth. You're fine, you've just been a bit quiet, that's all. She smoothed out his lapel. They fell into a klutzy rhythm as the band swung into an up-tempo number. She tried to get him to do more than sway, stiff-legged in circles, with no luck. After 2 songs, Lindo spoke up. Pretty dress, he said. I like it.
It was a bit of a shock when I died. 1 minute I was lying in a hospital bed in a paroxysm of agony. The next, I was floating in the air above my spindly body, watching the panic-stricken doctors struggle to revive me. Why I was in the hospital isn't important. It's what happened afterwards I want to talk about. All I did was blink. But in that second, the world as I knew it was snatched away. When I opened my eyes, I was standing beside a vast river, shrouded in mist. The ground, as far as the eye could see, was covered in strange white stones. Bending to examine one of them, I let out a stifled cry. It wasn't a stone at all. It was a piece of bleached bone. With a look of disgust, I cast it away.
It was morning when he awoke again. The sunlight streamed through the foliage above and shone in little motes onto the dewy earth. Paul groaned, every part of his body aching. He tried to open his eyes, but could only lift the lids a fraction, such was the swelling. He looked through the slits of his eyes at the clearing around him. It was empty. No caravan, no horse, no little girl. Tears formed in his eyes, the salty water burning his ruined flesh as they trickled down his bloodied cheeks. He reached out a hand to steady himself as he tried to stand. Every nerve screamed as his nervous system came back to life after its rest in the bliss of unconsciousness. The cool dew covered his palm where it rested on the damp grass, a strangely soothing sensation in his ocean of pain. He looked around once more, up on his knees now. His horse stands where he left it, grazing on the sweet grass around it. He made a soft clicking sound to it. The stallion lifted its head and turned towards him, knowing it was wanted, and with a few gentle jerks of its head, freed the reins from the branch where they had been wrapped. It walked towards him, shaking its noble head. The large brown eyes regarded him solemnly, seeming to sense his distress.